What if I told you your terminal can be your secrets manager? Yes, both your Instagram password, but also your database key. What if it was free, open source, and created by the same researcher who made WireGuard come to life? We often use tools and pay for services without questioning their relevance or alternatives. Now, sure, the paradox of choice leads everyone to avoid deep rabbit holes when picking up a new option. But when it comes to your secrets, it's worth taking another look. Pass is extremely lean, but comes with a bunch of extensions helping you migrate from pretty much any service you previously had. It tracks changes, you can make it handle one-time passwords, there's an Android and iOS options as well as any other desktop operating system. The options are endless, but I think I found something beyond all these, making it one of the most secure paths for agents writing code and requiring secrets access. It's not all rainbows and butterflies, it's a bumpy road I did not fully expect, but if you power through and you like the terminal as much as I do, you're going to love it. Let's get into it. As people so often love to mention or criticize tools that aren't, Pass follows the Unix philosophy. It does one thing and does it well. Really, there are so many more it could have done, but it's simple and effective. Pass saves every password as a file on disk encrypted as GPG. I don't know if you just noticed, because it took me quite a while to realize what I was saying is GPG rather than PGP. To some, this may be obvious, but honestly, I missed that. So to clear any confusion, PGP is the original standard, pretty good privacy, created in the 1990s. This standard is called OpenPGP, and the name suggests it's open to use. It originated as a freeware, but evolved into a commercial product now owned by Broadcom. GPG, however, is GNU-PG, to be exact, uses the same standard, but implements it in a free-for-all software. Now that we're clear about the key, let's talk about the creator, Jason Donenfeld, aka ZX2C4, and I couldn't find any reference to what this actually means. Jason is a well-known security researcher, most famously for creating WireGuard, a fast, modern, simple VPN protocol that creates an encrypted network tunnel system. If you ever used Tailscale, you can thank Jason. So if the creator of WireGuard builds a CLI for passwords, I'm in. This legend has 6 connections on LinkedIn, no experience listed, available only through his email, and hosts Pass on his own Git server. That's how you know someone's legit these days. Okay, time for getting our hands dirty. Your first and only prerequisite is GPG. On a Mac, run GNU-PG, but the GNU suggested is primarily available for Linux, as you may have managed to pick up from the name. GPG is ready to go, and just look at the supported crypto algorithms. Our first move, as you've probably guessed, is generating a key. You will have noticed a .GNU-PG under our home dir created. That's where GPG will store key pairs, random seeds for the generation, and more. Without getting too deep into cryptography options, we go with RSA and the maximum length possible because why not? Keys can have an expiry on them, the default is none actually, which I'm gonna go with. Confirm that's the case and give it your name, email address, and a smart comment if you need one. GPG needs randomness for proper seeding and asks for your help to type a little or move the mouse for entropy. The entire point of a key is being unpredictable. There are famous attacks in the past realizing some key generation methods using predictable mathematical functions, and modern tools rely on entropy, a fancy name for randomness, to enhance the unpredictability of it, if that makes sense. Your operating system collects low-level events or noise like keyboard and mouse and disk operations used as seed for /dev random. I really hope I didn't mess up the explanation, so hopefully security engineers here can comment with validation or the opposite, whichever works. With that in mind, add a password to your key for another layer of security, and that's it. We've got a keeper, public and private, created and signed. To list them, run list secret keys possible by adding a format, and now it's time to sign. We write a secret message into a file which will then secure. If you try that with an email address that doesn't have a public key served by the mail provider, there's no point in signing or encrypting it, so you'll get a failure. So we're just going to use mine for now, which then adds a new file under the same name ending with ASC. Before we decrypt our secret, let's talk about another option. By the way, Armor here tells our GPG to output text instead of binary. With detached sign, we create a separate signature file, which we'll then use to verify authenticity. GPG asks for the password, and now we have a signature file to work with. Use verify with the signature and the file, and boom, good signature. Quick shout out to SERP API for sponsoring this video. If you've ever tried pulling live Google results into your own tooling, you'll know how messy it gets fast. Scrapers break, pages change, and rate limits become a pain to manage. That is where SERP API is useful. It gives you a clean API for search engine results. So instead of spending time maintaining scraping infrastructure, you can plug that data straight into your own workflow. A good example is competitor monitoring or local search tracking. If you want to see how products, pages, or businesses are showing up in search, SERP API makes it much easier to fetch those results in a structured way, including listing and reviews, and feed them into your own alerts, dashboards, or internal tools. It also works perfectly with AI workflows when you need fresh search results as a reliable input. If you want to try it yourself, SERP API are offering 250 free credits. Check out the link on the screen and you can scan the QR code as well. Now back to the video. I must stop and point that this concept is the base for all DMs you can think of: Telegram, WhatsApp, even Signal. While some of these use their own protocols, it's the same core cryptographic concept: signing messages for authenticity. GPG and any end-to-end encrypted app you have uses the same building block. Now, let's take a quick look at the file. It looks like what you'd imagine a PGP signature or a certificate will look like. Also, notice this is PGP right here. We're using its open protocol. Now, our encrypted message from earlier, we can just go ahead and GPG decrypt it. Nothing special, it works, and there's our secret message printed. Now that we're clear on GPG, we start by running passinit to create the password store. It'll create it under dot inside your home directory. Now you can pass git init, which by the way works with any git command, and we'll see that soon. Oh, and make sure you init with a known email so that it has a key, otherwise you're going to have problems. To insert your first password, just pass insert with a name and type it twice. That's it, it's in. And git tracked. Fantastic. Want to get your secret password? Pass and its name, type your password, and the value prints itself. Now it's time for structure. Use / to separate directory-based systems. So work email, for example, under business directory would be set like so. To get it, use the same path. Just like other password managers, if you need a password generated for you, use pass generate. And if you add a path, it'll get saved there. Pass business will show a tree of everything under the business path, where followed by the name, as shown earlier, prints the value. Some nice features are -C to get it copied to your clipboard with a self-destruction timer, which is really cool, and I could already imagine scripting around it. 45 seconds later, the secret is gone from my clipboard. If you want to see the entire password store for whatever reason, go with pass-ls. And my favorite feature of all, pass find. Just send a partial search term and let pass find it for you. You can also delete a password, of course. For that, I'll go ahead and create a password that I want both to lose and delete with a lot of passion. Run pass delete, and of course I want to get rid of Jira, and it's gone like the wind. Pass show is another form of showing the password store, and you can obviously also edit your values. Pass edit pops the value into whatever you have in your $editor and var and lets you change it around. You can, of course, move secrets, changing both paths and names. Now, with all these operations, let's take a quick look at how Git recorded it. We mentioned pass takes any Git command and its subcommand, so pass git log shows you everything that we just went through, all in a series of commits that you can check out and interactively rebase if you're feeling courageous. You can, of course, explore the file structure to find a very lean and straightforward tree of GPG files and directories. Now, all that's nice, but what if you have a real secret message or text? Well, pass comes with a multi-line option, allowing you to throw in whatever secrets you've got in line. I personally would be happy if it opened up as well in NVim. Not sure whether that's an option or not, but whatever. Regardless, when you read the secret, you'll get it printed with breaklines and everything sorted. Believe it or not, besides other flags and little features, this covers pretty much all that pass has to offer. And that's the point when you try to follow the Unix philosophy. But users of 1Password, Keeper, and LastPass would now ask, well, what about one-time passwords, mobile usage? I mean, my passwords that are now stored safely on my machine are pretty much useless if they're on my machine only. Worry not, Pass comes with extensions. I mean, doesn't come, but rather lists them and makes itself ready for them. You'll find these in the docs, things like pass update, adding features on top for multi-file actions and other options. There's pass import, which can drink your passwords from whatever pricey subscription you already have, and there's pretty much coverage for every single one you can think of, even Apple's keychain. So I gave it a try. Let me sum this up for you. It's not as easy as you think. While very much doable, you have to work a little to make this happen. For some of you, the thrill is part of the game, but for those expecting a paid service level smoothness, you're in for a bumpy ride with this one. And while I also tried Qt Pass as a GUI client, which I couldn't even open, let alone run, I found something better. Raycast has a Pass extension. Who needs anything else? Check this out. Pop Raycast, you now see your entire store, hit the secret you'd like, and there you go. It's pasted into whatever app you have running underneath. Imagine it's my browser on a login page. Doesn't get any easier than that. By the way, if the previous import doesn't work, there are a lot of migration scripts ready for you. I'm pretty sure you can also vibe code something, but don't know if that's the best place to test it for the first time. Lastly, I was very interested in getting the mobile application to work. Pass is on the App Store, but it wants you to work a little. First, you need a password repo, so I went ahead and pushed my very small secret store to a private repository on GitHub. You give it a path, a branch, and a token to clone and sync, and you've got yourself your secrets in your mobile. Lastly, I want to show you something I think makes Pass even more powerful in the world we now live in, with AI. If you choose to go with one password only, that's fine and legit. But what if you could instead, or in addition, make Pass your ultimate repo secrets manager? You know, instead of .envs and risk pushing clear text. But on the other hand, you don't want to keep messing about with full-blown secret managers when you work locally. But also, if you're using some kind of an agent to code, you'd want it to have access to your keys safely. Well, check this feature out. In a repo, we can set password store dir envar and configure current working directory for it. Then, followed by pass, we're told it's empty, which is a great sign. We can now init using the same key, and we're in. On a separate split, without the envar, we're going to get the main password store. But no one wants to keep a constant envar before every single command, nor do we want to keep setting it for every session. Well, luckily, you have mise, as in mise en place, the absolute best when it comes to local env management, and a popular video on this channel. We add the envar to mise toml, and yes, it's on the bottom because I've licked too many keys on YouTube and I don't want to rely on blur anymore. That's it, fresh shell, pass show, empty. Fantastic. Now I can start using local secrets, like a DB password for example. Set it, get it, and we're done. Being a simple tool that does one thing and does it well means you can play around. Pass makes it easy for you to use globally or locally, remotely, and as a full-blown password manager. You can import from providers, but also from Apple, Chrome, and any other secret store you can think of. I'd really love hearing others in the comments who have tried making it the one and only secret manager with OTP and daily usage. In the meantime, since I briefly mentioned mise en place, but didn't go deep enough, I highly recommend you watch this video next to be able to take Pass to the next level. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.